The Punisher. Now, for reasons I don't really feel like disclosing, that character has always hit a certain spot in my brain or whatever. Frank Castle, for all his intensive purposes, is a man with a mission. Mission is to kill. And that's unfortunate because, it's a fine line between someone who is there to help and someone who's there to just indulge themselves, right? And it's really easy to lose that sense of yourself if you're gonna go with an idea. And for someone that has lost a lot and has gone through and has seen enough in the universe, for them to reach this conclusion is almost, one man once said, inevitable. But it is sad, it is difficult, right? You see a man who is respected for his services start to lose his form of giving service, and that comes not just in the form of a career, a military career, but in the form of his fatherhood, in the form of his parentship, in the form of his husband. And it's been a journey, right? I think we mostly know, for the most part, when someone goes off the handle and starts going on a rampage, i.e. John Wick, usually it's because some injustice has been done to this person, and someone didn't read the notes telling them that this person knows more about this universe than they can ever hope to acknowledge. And it is in that right that the Punisher is, let's call it, appealing in a broader sense, that there's a man that has gone through hell and back, right? He has served his country. He has put in hours of service that did not come at an easy price. Said price being one's mental state. And we see him go through those moments of what it really means to be in the mind of someone who has really gone through the ringer, and what it takes to continue taking one more step forward. And that's something I didn't really expect to see in this, not just in the Punisher, right? But in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is very, very open, very straightforward. We're still assuming that people are gonna go out and watch Spider-Man and then see this face and be like, oh yeah, is that one guy? So it is what it is. To be fair, this could only work with a TVMA rating, meaning that the Punisher would be able to do what he would be able to do. Now, is this good news? Well, what if we get a Wolverine solo film? Anyways, that being said, it was kind of interesting to see that mindset of a man that, usually doesn't even talk much. John Berthal, i.e. the Punisher, i.e. Frank Castle, is a man of very few words. He's just there to get the job done. So to actually get a glimpse of what his mind is going through, or what he is projecting in his own universe, it gives you a interesting idea of why a person would push this far, why they would act a certain way, why they would commit to a life filled with destruction, shall we say. But I'll be real. When it comes to destruction, when it comes to putting a stop to the injustice in the city of Nueva York, ladies and gentlemen, it is impressive to see a master teaching his master class. And that's where I will go with this, right? I come from America. I come from California. There's a thing about gun laws and a lot of things, and the universe, albeit as it is changing shit. They even want to sell guns through Amazon now. So, God forbid, but Lord help us. The life that we lead and what we do with the tools that we are given is the epitome of what our lives end up becoming. And to say that one should take quote unquote glory or some kind of sick satisfaction from these moments, I would personally say is a stretch too far for me personally. But what I will say is that there is value in learning from what a man, gentleman, person, teacher is able to show you, and what you learn from those experiences can lead to a huge difference between survivability and what have you not. So, when it comes down to it, when things hit the fan, when we realize why things are happening, and when John Bernthal, aka Frank Castle, needs to jump into action, good Lord. You know how John Wick is a thing? Alright. Now you take away all of that Keanu Reeves, let's call it finesse, because Keanu Reeves has been doing Kung Fu since the 90s. Let's not forget that. And you put this Marine-styled guerrilla warfare firefightist, yeah, you get urban guerrilla warfare. And again, in a moment when things are getting very, very heated in multiple states around my nation, I would say these things can open your eyes, shall we say. So, what they've done here, what they've created, what they've showcased, what they were able to teach / showcase, very nice, impressive, 10 out of 10. And yeah, that's something to say about that. Choreography, where it comes in, how it feels, the smoothness, how he ducks into corners, how he's constantly analyzing his aim, how he is not squeezing a trigger. God damn, those burst shots is everything. That's a little bit more Keanu Wick status, but just the way they really showcase that, I'd be curious to see if that is the same guy that is showcasing the fight choreography in Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is the same guy that did the fight choreography in Shang-Chi, which is why I'm very excited about what happens when these 3, Punisher, Daredevil, Spider-Man, maybe Daniel Rad, aka the Iron Fist. It'll be interesting. I'm curious to see what they go with that. Spider-Man Brand New Day is very, very soon, coming up very soon. So we'll have to wait and see what kind of plans the team at Marvel has. But that being said, this, while I do feel it went fairly deep, this thing, I do believe that there is a bit more of this story to tell in terms of what a complete human being might look like. I do know we have gotten enough backstory from the Frank Castle in the Netflix series and all that, but I feel and believe that if we are able to see a brutal Punisher, but a more open-minded or maybe fair or maybe just, let's call it efficient Punisher, where not every shot is potentially lethal. then maybe we can get a interesting interaction between the Spider-Man and Tom Holland and this guy over here. So that's where my head's at. I'm actually fairly excited about that. Obviously, Spider-Man is everybody's favorite per se. I'm more of a Wolverine fan, touche. Pero I do see the potential in really bringing these legendary characters that have had history together, and at this point in time where we're at, with the actors that we have, with the characters that are ready to go for it, it's a no-brainer to really make it happen. So what the question here now is, can Disney stick the landing, as we have witnessed a lot of disappointments, shall we say, leading up to this film. Remember, we really thought Fantastic Four was gonna like be something Avengers level, I guess, but unfortunately it doesn't go up to that, so we'll have to really see what Spider-Man does. That being said, it is a Sony Pictures film, and I'm pretty sure freaking Sony has more than enough budget to fund this picture, that because I know I'm at least paying for a tenth or 0.5% of it, 0.05% of it. So Lord knows what's out there, but hey, that's where we be. Frank Castle is quite the brutal character, but you know he has a heart. I think at the end of the day, that's the part that makes it very difficult. That, like, you know he cares, you know he has emotions, but at the end of the day, he is the Punisher. And kind of like the Batman is Batman, but he uses Bruce Wayne to project the sense of access to the open universe. Frank Castle has to block out that Frank Castle and to become the Punisher. And being the Punisher means leaving a mark, which means Spider-Man is going to be really disappointed that you're breaking his one rule. So that be where it be. It was honestly pretty damn cool. I really wish we had a little bit more, but I guess they finished it off with one last bang, and that's why Punisher, One Last Kill, is worth a watch. But hey, that's just my opinion. And hey, I'm just a guy having fun online. But if you like that, if you like this, then hit that like, subscribe, and I'll catch you around, my friends. Thanks for watching. Ciao. Matane. Demon Hunter.